What's up, everybody out there? This is RJ with the One Consciousness channel, God Talk, the great omnipresent designer, the One Consciousness channel, God Talk. Talk about that. So I'm making this video because I wanted to discuss the pros and cons of meeting Archangel Michael. So, I'm going to start with the cons first. The cons of meeting Archangel Michael is 1. Everyone and myself think I'm crazy. Maybe not everyone, but it seems like a lot of people, a lot of people automatically assume I have some ulterior motive in telling them my experience, i.e., to sell them a book I haven't written yet, or to sell them a product, or to, garner some kind of something from them or another. 3, just a second, I need to think of a 3. Well, I can't think of a third one right now off the top of my head. Anyway, so the pros of meeting Archangel Michael. I now know that he's not just a man talked about in a book. That's a pro, because it gives me a better perspective of the universe that I live in. 2, I can call on him whenever I need him, and one way or another he seems to always come through for me when I do. 3, it's nice to know that archangels and angels are real, that there's something beyond that, but I guess that falls into the first one. So 3, he told me that I am Jacob, the prophet. And so that's nice to know, gone through my whole life not knowing that, so at least maybe subconsciously or in my spirit I knew it, but didn't know it before, so that's good to know, right? Yeah, those are the pros and cons of meeting Archangel Michael. And I guess there's 4th pro, which is that I have been handed and given, I've been able to see the light of God, and I've been handed and given a torch or a baton, so to speak, to pass on to the world, which I am still working on figuring out how to do that. As with any prophet, a prophet has no honor in his own home. And no matter how hard I've tried and whatever way I've tried to get the message across, hasn't changed in regards to my family, my birth family. So for whatever reason, that seems to be some kind of a truth of the ages, that prophets never are received well by those who give birth to them and those who know them as they grow up. probably because they get attached to the earthly identity and can't see that there's a deeper being underneath that identity. So, yeah, so those are the pros and cons of meeting Archangel Michael. Now I wanted to read this quick passage here, discussing the two paths, because it just rings with truth, and I want to share it. Just from another messenger of God. It doesn't really matter who it's from. You just gotta learn. You have to listen to the message, pay attention to it, run it through the Holy Spirit. And for me, it's like God's alive in me, so it's already automatic. It's already, when I see something, I know immediately whether it's truth or not. It's just that kind of clarity when God becomes alive in you, which is the truth of God, is that the seed of God is in every man's heart, smaller than the tiniest atom, mightier than the greatest ocean. The two paths that lie in front of men, pondering on them, the wise man chooses the path of joy. The fool takes the path of pleasure. You have pondered on pleasures, and you have rejected them. You have not accepted that chain of possessions wherewith men bind themselves, and beneath which they sink. There is a path of wisdom, and the path of ignorance. They are far apart and lead to different ends. You are a follower of the path of wisdom. Many pleasures tempt you not. Abiding in the midst of ignorance, thinking themselves wise and learned, fools go aimlessly hither and thither, here and there, like blind led by the blind. What lies beyond life shines not to those who are childish, or careless, or deluded by wealth. This is the only world. There is no other, they say, and thus they go from death to death. Not many hear of him, and of those who hear of him, not many reach him. Wonderful is he who can teach about him, and wise is he who can be taught. Wonderful is he who knows him when taught. He cannot be taught by one who has not reached him, and he cannot be reached by much thinking. The way to him is through a teacher who has seen him. He is higher than the highest thoughts, and truth above all thought. This sacred knowledge is not attained by reasoning, but it can be given by a true teacher. As your purpose is steady, you have found him. May I have another pupil like you. I hope that maybe by seeing God in me, you may come to also see God in yourselves. Because, God belongs to all of us. And we belong to that. It's the only thing that lasts. The rest is a perishing mist of a dream. We're all just rowing our boat gently down the stream. And sometimes down rapids and crashing and thrashing in this world of sorrows and pains. Come to know him, and you won't have to be born here again. Be taught life's lessons all over again. A world drowning in sin. Come and find God within. He is beyond this world. From the beginning to the end.